I've been trying to get to this case for a minute since this went down. This one is a real strange one, and it's it's got a lot of little things that have come out that just are familiar. They're similar. There's some things that have been said in news press conferences and things that have been said during other interviews that people have done that this is a weird one, but sometimes you just got to set back and let it play out. And so we're going to watch some news press conferences. We're going to learn a little bit more about Suzanne. We're going to learn a little bit more about where this all took place, who's all kind of involved in this thing, and then I'll just give you my thoughts on it. There's a lot of information in these press conferences that if you have tips or if you have leads or if you know something or if you've heard something, then you can follow up on those. Some of these press conferences I have watched, some of these I haven't. This particular one, I just started to make sure I had the full thing. And it looks like I've got the full press conference that happened just yesterday. So this is just yesterday's news. So it's not like it's been out forever. This is the press conference with the Chaffee County Sheriff, and he's going to be giving us information on what they know, what they've talked about, what they've looked at already. And so we'll watch this press conference, go from there, just so we can all kind of be on the same page. This is a missing woman, mother, a missing Indiana to Colorado in the last couple of years. They moved here in 2018, I believe, and she went missing on Mother's Day, vanished from like a bike ride. They found her bike, but they'll give out some information. We'll listen to some other news stuff, and you'll hear some of the information that's happening. It's a nationwide case right now. There's a $200,000 reward for information leading to the safe return. A couple of the family members have made statements. There's been a Facebook page that's been created that's like an official Facebook page run by the family. And so you'll get all that information and we'll go from there. So I'm going to play this video. We'll listen to it and keep going. I'll tell you what I think.
Became a missing person on Sunday, the 10th. Her investigation still remains the top priority of the Chaffee County Sheriff's Office, and it is a missing persons investigation. Being that it's a top priority with the Sheriff's Office, we've solicited the help of many local and law enforcement agencies, but we've also solicited and received the help of the Colorado Bureau of Investigation and the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and they are here now and they're actively working with us on this investigation. We've spent countless hours searching for Suzanne, and I want to thank everybody that's been involved in the investigation, but I also want to thank the community and even our social media community. We have pictures that have been published, and the top priority in this is to find Suzanne. And so I want to thank everybody for the cooperation we've been getting, and we ask that you continue that support. We've started a tip line with the assistance of CBI, and I want to give you that tip line number right now because that's kind of our lifeline for this thing. And if anybody has any information, whether you think it's little or big, we encourage everybody to call that number and give us that information. And I'm going to give you that number right now. It is tip line number is 719-312-7530. I want to give you a little brief recap of what we've done since we received the call of Suzanne's disappearance on Sunday. We've in the area and in the general area, we've run foot searches using air support, canine support, swift water support, and we've also utilized countless hours of drone searches. We've used well over 200 personnel and over 2,000 man hours have gone into this search, but unfortunately we haven't found Suzanne yet, and as I stated before, that is our top priority. Yesterday afternoon, which is Thursday, in the area of County Road 225 and Highway 50, we did find items that we believe were personal items of Suzanne Morphew, and that launched a bigger search we had today, which included the full closure of US Highway 50 on Monarch Pass. In that search, we used today well over 90 searchers that are well-trained individuals from both our local agencies as well as the FBI and CBI. We searched over 2.5 miles using grid patterns. Unfortunately, we found no other items in that area at this time. We're in the process right now of reevaluating where we are with the information we received. And I want to let everybody know that we are receiving information, and so we're constantly reevaluating that information, and based on that, it'll determine what our actions are tomorrow searching. However, I want to remind everybody that while we're doing this, the investigation continues. Okay, so as I said before, this is a top priority of ours, and we're working very hard on this. Once again, it's just so important to thank everybody for the outpouring assistance we've gotten. We've gotten a lot of requests from the community for volunteer searchers, and we really appreciate the assistance. However, in this type of an investigation and search, we're using trained personnel, and so we have to tell these people we're not accepting this help, but we do appreciate the offer. So I want everybody to know that. Once again, I want to remind everybody that the tip line is 719-312-7530, and we've published many pictures of Suzanne, so we encourage everybody to take a look at that, and if they have information, call us.
Right now, I guess we'll open it up for questions. If we could raise our hands, we're not all shouting, that would be great. Let's start right there.
Can you say what the items were that you found? Well, the question was if I can repeat what the items were found. Just so everybody knows, I can't offer any information on any clues or anything we found during this investigation. It is an open investigation, and so we can't disclose that information at this time. Yes, ma'am.
You guys believe she's still alive?
The question is do we believe she's still alive? We're certainly hopeful she is. Obviously, as time goes by, it gives us concern, but we're searching as though she's alive, and we do believe she could still be alive. Yes, sir.
You gave a tip line. If the community members are trying to search for her, what can they look for? How can they reach out?
The question is how can the community help us in the search? As I stated before, the biggest thing that we are looking for is any information that anybody has. If they're in the area on Sunday the 10th, call the tip line. If they see somebody that they think resembles Suzanne, call the tip line. Anything they think is important. It's like we talk about in national security. If you see something you think is suspicious, call it, because you never know. And this is the same case. If you think it's important, call us. We're going to look into it. We have a lot of people working on this, and we're working on everything we can. And excuse me, we just appreciate any help we can get.
Now, was she an avid biker? Was this a normal route that she took that you guys were searching on? That she took every day, once a week, once a month?
Question is, she's an avid biker, and if we're searching normal routes, it's my understanding she did bike quite a bit, and we've searched that whole area. It doesn't mean that we're not going to keep searching, but as we expand our search, it's based on what we find and information we receive. So we're not ruling anything out, but we have to evaluate that information on a daily basis. Sir.
I know you said about the clues, but we've heard conflicting reports about whether the bicycle was found. Can you tell us if that was found?
Question is clues, and if we recover the bike. Once again, I can't comment on any items we found or any part of the investigation.
You said earlier this week that it probably wasn't an animal that was involved. Are you still saying that?
Okay, if we're still looking at an animal could be involved on any open investigation, obviously you don't rule out anything. We've not found anything that would indicate that. However, we're always evaluating. We've been in that area so much, we're always looking, obviously, and any clues we have, we're going to follow up on.
How many tips have you received?
I don't have that information. However, as far as specific, I have talked to our investigators. We've gotten a lot of tips, and it seems as though they're picking up as the word gets out. Now, I noticed on our Facebook page alone, the sheriff's office, we'd reached close to 500,000 people. That's important. That's a lot, and we get those reaches by shares on Facebook. So I encourage everybody, if you get the information, push it out to other people, because that's how we get the information out.
Has the husband cooperating?
Yes, he's been cooperative at this point. We hope he continues to do so.
What is the investigation going to look like in terms of physically being out on the road? Are you going to close the highway again? How is that going to look?
The question is if we think we'll possibly close the highway again. We don't know yet. We're talking about that right now based on what we found today, what tomorrow looks like. We'll try to get that information out as soon as we can. However, based on certain aspects of our investigation, we have to evaluate everything and decide when the best time is to do that.
With the FBI and CBI involved with this, is this treated as a criminal investigation?
It's still a missing persons investigation. However, they bring in a lot of assets that we don't have locally, and they're a great help. So that's the reason for bringing them in. So it continues to be a missing person investigation.
We'll do 2 more questions.
Yes, sir.
For a small town like this, how much does a missing person, impact the community?
It has a big impact in our community. We're small, pretty tight knit, and there's a lot of people that are concerned about this. But it's not just locally. I've seen a lot of concern nationwide. I mean, this hits a lot of different homes, and there's just been an outpouring of concern, and it's pretty impressive.
Can you talk about compare the size and area that you started off searching and what it has expanded to now?
The question is how big our search area has expanded. We started off, obviously, you start off semi-small when you get the information. Obviously, expands as you maybe find things or as you receive information. We've expanded quite a bit. It's just to reiterate, we don't know where we'll be tomorrow. We're going to reevaluate where we are today, and we'll make decisions based on that.
Last question. Is suicide being considered at all?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Is suicide being considered at all?
In any investigation, you look at all aspects, and that is part of the investigation. Is you look at backgrounds, and so since we haven't found her, you don't rule out anything. However, we don't suspect it.
Where do you guys go from here?
Go ahead and finish that. That's a good one to finish.
Where do we go from here? We go. Honestly, we go. Tips are huge. We've got a big team of investigators from very different aspects of expertise that we're looking at everything we possibly can. We just keep going. Honestly, this is a very big. It's our top priority. We're pouring all our resources into this, as well as many other agencies, and I don't know how else to say it. We just go. But the community can give us a lot of help. I mean, the second set of eyes is huge, and we've seen that in so many different situations that we need help. We can always use help. So anything you do for us, we appreciate it.
All right, if you're just joining, this is a case of a Colorado woman who went missing on Mother's Day. It's been 7 days, I think. I think Mother's Day was last Sunday. I don't know. We've been in lockup forever, so who knows? But this woman went missing, bike ride, vanished. There's a couple of things I want you to take note of, and I just want you to take note of them. The officer was asked the question, is the husband cooperating? And he answers, the husband has cooperated. We hope he continues to cooperate. And then they kind of moved along the way. There has been no statement that I know of made by the husband. I know many people in chat are talking back and forth. I do not believe any statement, any plea, other than we do believe that they have announced that there's a $200,000 reward. And I'm going to play a news clip if I can find it. Did I cut out? I want to play this news clip from I think there was let me see here if this is the one. Oh, I just want to make sure I play you the right one. I don't want to play the wrong one. There's one where they play an interview with the nephew, where the nephew had called in and talked. Yeah, this is the one. So let me shout out to KOAA Channel 5. I like those guys. They got a good news director, good reporters over there. So if you want more information, it looks like they've been following this case from the start. So let me go this. Shoot, which one was it? Yeah, it's that one. Perfect.
Developing tonight, the search for a Chaffee County woman continues.
Suzanne Morphew, missing since Mother's Day when she did not come home from a bike ride. News 5's Colette Bordelon has details from the sheriff's office search after saying they found some of her personal items.
The sheriff can't say what exactly those items are, but they didn't find any more on Friday. The Maysville mom and wife has gotten national attention while deputies continue to look for any clues in a case that still has more questions than answers. Closing part of Monarch Pass Friday.
We don't have too many things like this happen around here.
As the search continues.
The top priority in this is to find Suzanne.
At the same time as the investigation into the disappearance of 49-year-old Suzanne Morphew, still considered a missing persons case at this time, but they're not ruling anything out.
Obviously, as time goes by, it gives us concern, but we're searching as though she's alive, and we do believe she could still be alive.
The search zeroed in on a specific area Friday where deputies believe they found personal items of Morphew's right outside of Maysville, west of County Road 225 and Highway 50.
Unfortunately, we found no other items in that area at this time.
The Chaffee County Sheriff's Office bringing in the FBI and CBI to help.
We've run foot searches using air support, canine support, swift water support, and we've also utilized countless hours of drone searches. We've used well over 200 personnel and over 2,000 man hours.
But one of their most powerful tools, social media, where the sheriff says they've reached close to 500,000 people through their Facebook page.
It's not just locally. I've seen a lot of concern nationwide.
With many people wanting to help, but right now volunteers are not being used as dozens of searchers and investigators scour the area.
I think everybody's got their eyes and ears open at this time and are wanting to see her return safely.
Morphew's husband, who police say has been cooperative, and a family friend are offering $200,000 for her safe return. No questions asked. The best way people can help is to call in anything you might know about Morphew's disappearance. The sheriff's office has started a tip line with CBI's help. That number is 312-7530. Always watching out for you, Chaffee County. Colette Bordelon, News 5.
Need a professional website? I created one for our startup.
I want to keep it up because I think they go into they cut back to a video here, and it will be a interview with her. Yeah, let's see here. I want to see. There was one that they did an interview with her nephew. I want to see who got that. It was KOAA who got it for sure. Here we go. Yeah. Oh, it wasn't KOA. It was News 7 or News 9 out of Denver. So let me pull this one up, and we can listen to again. Just listen to what. There's some things that are said in this one for sure that give a little credence to the. We're going to talk about some things they have said, but I want you to listen to this.
She's the woman missing in Chaffee County. The 49-year-old disappeared Sunday after investigators say she went out for a bike ride. She hasn't been seen since. On the phone with us now, we have her nephew, Trevor Noel. He is going to talk about what's going on with this case. Trevor, good morning.
Good morning.
I know you've been in the midst of the search for her. Tell us what's going on now as far as you and the search crews and the family are concerned.
Sure. Every morning early, we've been gathering and creating a game plan, and we just sent a bunch of teams out. We have our biggest crew yet today going out again. And we're working all day from when the sun comes up until the sun comes down, scouring every hill, every creek, every watershed, looking for our beloved family member and my aunt, Suzanne.
I know it must be really difficult. Is there any clue as to what might happen? Are there any theories that you're working on?
Yes, there are, but I think it's best for the investigation and for the family and for the progress that we keep it close, and maybe not discuss it live right now. But we're making progress, and we are so far from giving up, and we are going to find her today.
Okay, I will do that. I will honor that. Tell us a little bit about Suzanne. What was she like?
I think the question was to tell you a little bit about Suzanne. And
Yes.
She is the sweetest, most loving person. She's my aunt and the most wonderful, loving, beautiful person inside and out, and we need her back to us now.
I know that there's been a reward offered by the family and also a friend of the family. Talk a little bit about that if you can.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Yeah, we're breaking up. I know it's difficult. Talk a little bit about the reward that is being offered if you can.
Yes. So Barry, Suzanne's husband, has put out a reward of $100,000 for her safe return with no questions asked. And a generous family friend has matched his offer. So we have $200,000 that we'll offer for Suzanne's safe return, no questions asked.
All right. And is there anything that you would like to ask the viewers to do? Any information that you would like to get out there?
Yes, please. I would implore the viewers, everyone, please go to Facebook and visit the page, Find Suzanne Morphew, facebook.com/Find Suzanne Morphew. We also have information about our GoFundMe page on the About section of the Facebook page. And the tip line is the most important. If you see anything, if you hear anything, if you saw anything suspicious from Sunday on until now, anywhere in the state, anywhere that you are, please call the tip line, 719-312-7530.
And I know the search is going to continue today. You talked about that, but what's the game plan as far as taking the search into the weekend?
We're going everywhere. We have teams going into towns and into remote mountainous areas and every place in between, scouring the area, looking for any clue, and that's the game plan. And we're gathering together at the end of each day or as we can throughout and compiling everything that we find and building a stronger plan for the next day and going out with a more coordinated effort.
Well, Trevor, I can't imagine what you and the rest of the family are going through. I want to thank you for joining us this morning and bringing us up to date. And please keep us up to date if you can, okay?
I sure will. Thank you for helping us get the word out.
Okay. All right. Trevor Knoll, thank you much.
Thank you.
I actually hope y'all didn't catch that ad that came up. That was terrible, YouTube. It's a manscaping ad. Man, listening to that Nephew is crazy. He's heartbroken. It's genuine heartbreak, searching for his aunt. And I think he's probably going to be like the spokesperson, and that's maybe why the husband hasn't given an interview, is because the nephew was kind of chosen as the spokesperson for the family. He did say some things that they're making progress and that they're not going to continue. They're not going to give up. This is a very remote area. People have asked. There's people that have asked if this is close to me. This is like an hour and a half from west of us, maybe a little less. It's an area I'm very familiar with. We've done a lot of camping in this very area. So it's it's right in the mountains. I mean, this is as mountain as it gets. It's right in the Collegiate Mountains. It's in the Banana Belt is what they call that area. It's right outside of Salida, um, Colorado. You going up over Monarch Pass into Gunnison. Let me see. I'll bring up a map real quick, and you can kind of see the difference and where it's at compared. This is just like a Google map, I think. Yeah. So Maysville is right here. Well, and first of all, I have to understand this is the Colorado Trail. And I saw some people. This trail runs all the way through the mountains, so people come from all over the world to hike this trail. So she was probably biking portions of the Colorado Trail in this area. I don't know the exact area, where they found her bicycle or found her belongings, but the Colorado Trail is right here, and it goes right across Highway 50. This is a very you basically come onto this dirt road off the trail. So this would be a parking area of some sorts probably down here. I don't know that I've been to this exact area, but I have definitely yeah, I've actually been here. I think I fished that little lake. So this is right off a main road. So you're gonna have asphalt road to here, then it's gonna turn to dirt. But then when you get to the dead end of this will have a gate here so that you couldn't drive a vehicle down this trail. But this trail goes all the way down to freaking Mexico. It's part of a larger trail system, but it's a very highly trafficked area. In other words, there were probably people out there hiking this trail, around this trail, there were definitely people in this general area probably on Mother's Day. I mean, if I didn't go fishing with my wife, and me and my wife weren't fishing, but we were fishing about 40 minutes from this place. Let me pull up Google. Oh shoot, I just killed Google Maps. Um, we weren't very far from here on Mother's Day. And so, yeah, a lot of people in the area. Now, a lot of people have been saying, well, is it kind of weird that he wasn't there on Mother's Day? The dad wasn't there, the husband wasn't there. I don't think it was at all. I think it depends on your life and your family and the people that the what was going on in that day and time and effort. So I hear things that other people maybe aren't listening for. And so when I heard the nephew say things like, "Hey, things are moving forward. We got some progress," and then the law enforcement come back on and give a press conference just yesterday. I believe the press conference was just yesterday. Yeah, that press conference was just yesterday. So here, a couple of things. They're not going to make any arrest unless they have evidence to make an arrest. They're not going to rush this. If this is a missing persons case, they're going to treat it as such. I think they will call it a missing persons case up until they're ready to make an arrest for something else. I think that they investigate a lot of murder cases starting as missing people, but they start looking at it a lot differently, especially when it comes to adults, and especially with as fast as news has traveled. This woman's only been missing 7 days, right? And so there's a lot of information that's been put out that's not new information. They have a $800,000 house for sale. They're leaders of a nonprofit organization of some sort. Um, But the area in which she went missing is 100% the Rocky Mountains. I mean, all right, just to put this in, just so you can have a little perspective of this, this is Maysville, where she went missing. This is 220, or this is where she's from. Where she went missing was, they say, right around this 225 road, this CR 225. But what you have to understand is that section of road is actually the Colorado Trail. And so this is a trail. Now, what I do want to show you is what kind of country this is. And you might not realize this, but every one of these little green peaks, these are all like 14,000 foot peaks. All these little peaks that you see here, all these little um all these little green mountaintops, most of these definitely up this front range where it's all rocky, Mount Princeton, Mount Antero, uh, all of Taylor Mountain, all of these roads, all of these mountains are 14,000 foot peaks. And so these are, these are the Rocky Mountains. These are right. This is the mountains. If you've never been to this area, this is 100% Colorado mountains, as much as you can get. Monarch Pass drops into Gunnison, Colorado, and Gunnison, Colorado is the coldest place in the United States, like the lower US. I mean, it's mountains. It's at the top of the divide. This is where your water comes from if you live on one side or the other, So this is where it all starts, the top of the world when it comes to the lower 48 states. This is the mountain range. So they're in the mountains. And to go bike ride by yourself is not unusual, especially if you I mean, this is not unusual. I mean, Maysville is smaller than Woodland Park, but it's still just a mountain town. Like Salida, where this place is right outside of, is like a lot like um, Woodland Park, very similar to Woodland Park at the town that I live in the mountains. So to put this in perspective, so Maysville is right here, and so this is where this all went down. Me and Nikki were we were right here. We were at Spinning Mountain Reservoir on Mother's Day. So we're right here. If you take 24 out, this is the way you would go to there, and then down 285, and we're right there. So that's about a 40-minute drive from where we were at on Mother's Day. And that's about 40 minutes from me. So, well, an hour 20, an hour and a half to this area from where we're at. This is deeper in the mountains. Someday I want to live in Salida, Colorado. It's a very beautiful place. It gets mild winters. You can see all the farming. They actually do a lot of farming in this area. This is called the banana belt. So you can see those crop circles. That's not normally normal that's not normal in Colorado. But because they have the Arkansas River and great weather, they call this little area. And if you look at it from a map, like right here, it kind of looks like a banana. This little, you see this little valley here from Buena Vista. This is like, they call it the banana belt in Colorado. This is high country. I mean, this is 8,000, 9,000 feet. And it's right here in this little valley. And it's a really beautiful, it's as beautiful as anywhere in the world. And so this woman lived in one of the most beautiful places on the face of the planet, in my opinion. And so they ran a nonprofit or some sort of nonprofit organization. So they probably did a lot of traveling and raising money and different things like that. They had an $800,000 home back in Indiana that they still haven't sold. It's still listed under ownership of them. And she went missing on Mother's Day in this area. Now, what I can tell you, the Colorado Trail is filled with a lot of people. A lot of people hit these long trails. So you can go, you go out there and you go on this Colorado Trail and you live out there and you hike this trail and you follow this trail through the mountains of Colorado. And people, I mean, this trail goes forever. This is all, I mean, like you can go almost to Canada, I think, on this same trail. And so a lot of people come to Colorado from all over the world and for a lot of different reasons. Some people are hiding. Some people are trying to hide from things. Some people, a lot of guys and girls and people that are outlaws, they travel this trail system because you can survive with little to no money, and people are very generous, and with a tent, a sleeping bag, and bare essentials, you can live out on this trail indefinitely through the summertime. And we are in peak season right now. We're in a crazy season with this COVID. But like I'm saying, this same trail that she was riding her bike on is an internationally known trail that travels through the highest parts of Colorado and is foot traveled by people from all over the world. So there's a lot of theories and a lot of things that people could, you could go on for a long time and talk about who has been on this trail, what has happened on this trail. um you know, people, you don't want to come out on this trail by yourself. You know, there is craziness in the world, I just told you. And on top of all those things I've said, that trail is the safest place you could be, probably, if you live in Chicago or Illinois or wherever, you know. And so they say she went missing right here off of 225, which again is a little road, but it is part of the Colorado Trail. And that's what you have to understand, is that this road isn't just a general dirt road. It is it's a trail that's been run by people all over the world, all types of people. So, is this animal country? Yes, absolutely. But if this was an animal, it would either be a mountain lion. I mean, Carol Baskin didn't set no tigers loose over in this area. You know what I'm saying? So if it was wildlife, which they have said it's no indications that it's wildlife. If it was wildlife, there would be indications that it was wildlife. It would be a mountain lion or it could be a black bear. But other than a mountain lion and a black bear, very unlikely that a black bear would take down a mountain biker or a cyclist. But mountain lions have actually, most of the mountain lion attacks and or one of the 3 deaths in Colorado by mountain lion is of a mountain biker. And so, you know, if you trigger the instinct of a wildlife mountain lion, it could attack and have attacked mountain bikers. But they say there's no indication of that. And anytime a mountain lion's involved in something like this or wildlife's involved, there's going to be indication that leads them to believe that it was a wildlife encounter. And they have said no to that. That doesn't mean that someone couldn't do something and then use wildlife to try to cover up what they've done. It doesn't mean that people have been killed on the Colorado Trail before, and people have gone missing on the Colorado Trail before. And so this isn't as abnormal as it is, like people, you know, as abnormal as for someone to just go vanished, a grown person to vanish. Um, Actually, this is a very not, I wouldn't say common area, but this isn't the first time someone's been gone missing on the Colorado Trail. And so they're not using the name the Colorado Trail because that's bad for business, right? You're not going to hear, that's why they use the lingo of, you know, Road 225, because if they were to tell you that 225, this section of 225 is part of the Colorado Trail on the news, it's bad for Colorado business. But you got to understand that, again, there's even like in this picture, there's maps. I mean, there's people here. This is what they're here parked here. And this section of the trail may be open to dirt bikes and four-wheelers. And so I don't know. It looks like there's some two-track here. So there's definitely a section of four-wheeler trails that are back in there. I don't believe the Colorado Trail is open to dirt bikers. And it is open to horseback riders, hikers, and mountain bikers. And so people from all over the world come here. Speculation on this thing is, I don't have all the facts. There are obviously facts they aren't telling us. And we've heard the nephew say that. If you want to follow their Facebook page, if you missed that part of the video, you can actually go follow Find Suzanne Morphew here at this page on Facebook. This is not my page. I don't have nothing to do with this page. This is the page they are announcing. This is the page that if I was going to go, I actually do follow this page. It looks like I can even write a post on this page. If I was going to follow a page about this case, this is the page I would go follow. I'd go join this page in this group because this is as close as you're going to get. So are there stores on the trail? Someone asked. No, but it does cross in some populated areas. So people, they just get off the trail. A lot of hitchhikers. I've actually picked up hitchhikers that were hiking the Colorado Trail. I picked them up out of Vail, Colorado, outside of Vail. Or no, it was outside of Leadville. But yeah, there are hitchhikers. And I mean, you hitchhike off the trail, go get supplies. A lot of times you'll have people drop supplies for you in certain areas because it does cross, main highways like Highway 50 there. And so, yeah, Raul, the way that and here's the deal. These are people with money. They are people with an organization. I don't know what that organization does. I don't know much about their nonprofit. I bet I could find out. But you got to remember that, yeah, they obviously had money, right? They offered a reward pretty quickly. You can't just come up with a $200,000 reward overnight. And so they obviously have had they had money, and so kidnapping for ransom, kidnapping for money is always a possibility, especially when you see a reward like that come out pretty quickly. Like I think in the case of, I think there was like a $50,000 reward, a $25,000 reward for any information leading to the whereabouts, even the remains of Kelsey Barrett. And I think that reward is still out there if people were to be able to find and confirm the remains of Kelsey Barrett. So a $25,000 reward or $50,000 reward I've seen, but $200,000 off the bat, it does suggest that there could have been other things. And that's the one thing. There could have been other evidence that we don't know about that leads them to believe it's more of a kidnapping scenario with this reward being offered of maybe a safe return, and someone's going to try to collect, some Bitcoin out of this thing. And so that's very, very possible. I tend to believe that, this is her Facebook page. It's not publicly opened, but this is pictures and stuff from her Facebook page. I can't see, these are a lot of the same pictures. It looks like to be a picture of her family. This would look like to be her kids. I'm not 100% sure, but I mean, this is the information that I'm just looking at going, this seems that this could very easily be her kids and her family. Says the sweetest family. I don't know all the details. We haven't heard a lot from that. Yeah, it looks like these girls have grown up over the years. So this was back 2015. So they're a little older. So she's a mother. Are those the same? Yeah, it looks like these are the same girls here. They're just getting older. So this is probably the most recent picture of mom with the girls is 2019. So October of 2019. This looks like her and her girls. I think I've seen this picture online. So, and then, you know, this is a picture of her husband. Now, the most recent picture, I don't know, that's 2016. Like I like to, and they don't, this isn't going to show me all her pictures when you don't have access to her. I don't have access to, these look like these are older pictures because the kids are younger. So I don't see any recent photos of her and her husband. Oh, maybe. No, maybe this one. That's 2017. So this is October 2019. So that's the most recent photo that I see on her Facebook. This is 2018 with her husband. He's 50, 52. She's 49, I think is their ages. So I think she's 49. She's 49 and he's 52. She's pretty for 49. She carries her age well. Beautiful kids. Looks like just 2 daughters. This is their house for sale. This was 2018. So, and it seems like the house is still for sale under their name. I could be wrong on that, but that was the information that I could find. So it looks like they're looking for information. The other thing that I want to bring up that the cops talked about a little bit is that they're pushing their social media stuff. Like they are thinking that, you know, they're reaching millions of people. They're reaching, you know, all over the world, the globe, the country. There is a possibility that there's a side of this story we're not being told. There could be records that show something. They obviously are going to look into cell phone records of both the husband and wife. They're going to look into cell phone records of the children. They're going to look into cell phone records of all the family, whether they have to do that, whether they get that voluntarily, which is why that police officer could have very well stated, he said, the husband is cooperating with us. I hope he continues to cooperate with us. That was a weird statement to me that the cops made. And so the question is well, why would the husband ever stop cooperating with you? And so, well, it's probably because they're going to start asking for records of cell phones and different things like that. And when they do that, and understand this, the husband did not report her missing. It was a neighbor. The husband was out of town, and not Denver's about 2 hours away, like 2.5, probably 2.5. I better freaking check that. Somebody's gonna be like, he doesn't know what the heck he's talking about. So let's see here, Chapin County Road 225, and let's say directions. Oh no, go back. I just want to drop a pin here. Shoot, man. Denver to here is and then let's do directions. I think they said the husband was in Denver, 2 hours and 45 minutes away. So I live right here in Woodland Park. And so I'm right here in Woodland. This is where it went down. I was right here. I was actually at this little lake right here on Mother's Day. So, but this is straight, you know, it's the mountains. Oh, I'm not even showing y'all that screen, am I? Sorry. So Denver's 2 hours and 45 minutes away. That's to the stock show, downtown stock show or whatever. It just put me there. They closed Monarch Pass on Friday. And so they closed the pass and found some information. There's only a few ways over the mountains here. See this big strip right here, or the big strip right in the middle of the screen here? There's only a few highways that go over the mountain. 24, right? You got this is Independence Pass here, goes into Aspen. You got Highway 70, you got Highway 50. So they closed one of the ways over the mountains, which there's only 5 ways over the mountains here in Colorado. Highway 70 being your main road, Highway 50 being south. You would go south if you're going to Durango, Montrose Delta, your Ray, Telluride, Gunnison, all that. So this is a major highway that they closed that they were searching around. And so they believe there's some information, and they found some information that went down there. But they say he was in Denver, 2 hours and 45 minutes away if you take 225 out through Fairplay and Jefferson. It's 3 hours if you come through Woodland Park. So this case is not going to go away. Nobody's going to forget, right? And so there's a $200,000 reward being offered for information for her safe return. No questions asked. You want to go and find the Find Suzanne Morphew page on Facebook. "49 years old, been missing since Sunday, May 10th. She left her home for a bike ride near County Road 225. I think she actually she told somebody she was doing this. West Highway 50 and did not return. Police and family are seeking any information that leads to her safe return. No questions asked." She could have been abducted off the Colorado Trail. That's very possible. She doesn't look like she's not out of shape. She doesn't look like I don't know what kind of disposition she had, whether she's a fighter, if somebody were going to try to abduct her, would she fight? I don't know any of that information about her. But if you have any information, they're asking for you to call 719-312 what is that? 7530. Can't see. Raul's saying that maybe he was a Major League Baseball player in the minors. People are saying he still references it. I've worked for these kind of guys. I worked for a guy that he literally played 3 downs in the NFL, but then he got out of the NFL. He got all the way to the NFL, played 3 downs, literally played 3 plays in the NFL, but he referenced being an NFL football player for many years into his speaking career. And then he finally got away from it. But yeah, if you make it to the major leagues and then you go into some nonprofit or speaking fundraising, a lot of times guys will reference their major league baseball stuff a lot of times just to open the doors, like, oh, we've got this Major League Baseball player so and so to come speak to us. And so her husband, 2 males and 1 female direct their foundations. True, but I've seen a lot from absolutely.
This is also could have been a sleeping with the enemy situation, and maybe she ran away, faked on accident, or something. Either way, something's up. Yeah, there's always the possibility. Okay, here's the deal, though. I think we're going to see. I think more cases like this are out there. We're just not seeing them yet. The reason we're seeing this one is because there's a $200,000 reward being offered, right? This is why the news people picked it up. This is why they're all talking about it. But there are a lot of people that are going to go missing during that quarantine time over a lot of different things. Now, if you were going to ask me, like if I was just going to give you my opinion, I would say that the person most likely to make a person disappear is the closest person to them. That's not always the case, but the percentages point to people who are close to you. It doesn't mean that's just a husband. That could be your neighbor. That could be someone that you interact with on a daily basis that's just a total friend, right? It could be anybody that's close to you, right? The scenario around this disappearance, though, happens in an area where there are a lot of people who travel the Colorado Trail. So it broadens the spectrum of who the abductor, if there is an abductor, if we're treating this as a missing persons case, the area is broadened because of the location. Even though it's a remote location, it's a trail that someone could have got on 100 miles down the road and then crossed right there waiting, abducted someone, did something, had some way, shape, or form to move that person. So a lot of women hike this trail together by themselves. Or just a couple of women, 3 or 4 women. I know mothers and daughters who have hiked this trail. So because of the nature, if someone goes missing on the Colorado Trail that was out there, supposed to be out there for 2 or 3 weeks, nobody would know. But because she was only going for a bike ride, she was a local, she could have found herself being abducted by someone who was maybe thinking they were getting someone who was on the trail for extended period of time. And this is why 7 days information is very, very vital. Super vital. It's a crazy case. If you go down the abduction trail, if you go down the best friend trail, the husband trail, whoever's close to you trail, you could go down any one of 1,000 scenarios on what has happened. Trust me, the cops are going down all the scenarios and they got all the information they need. The FBI, CBI are involved, which means cell phone records are a few clicks away. You're talking about guys who know how to get cell phone records in a matter of an hour or two. You're talking about investigators that know how to maneuver the system and get the information they need. So they will either start leaning towards a certain scenario that we're talking about, and they're going to start giving us more information to try to get us more information. They may have all the information they need, and they may not make an arrest for 30 days. They didn't arrest Patrick Frazee for almost 30 days when Kelsey Barrett went missing. There could be somebody else at play. There could be someone else at play. Somebody says she's a cancer survivor. Yeah, so here's the deal. Here's the question. When people say, why would she fake her own death? Man, that you gotta to fake your own death in this time, this day and age is a lot harder than people think. Especially in the day and age we're in right now. Like to fake your own death in the middle of a somewhat travel ban, right? We don't have travel bans, but travel is limited right now. And not so much in a sense that you're going to get stopped. I'm not trying to start travel. There's no travel ban in effect. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. With COVID-19, it would be harder to fake your own death and then reappear as someone else. It's just not going to be that easy. And so if you're in an abusive situation, is she running away? I don't know. It doesn't seem like anybody, there's Facebook rumors and there's Facebook posts and there's all kinds of scenarios on your social medias that will run down all kinds of, I know so and so this, I seen him do this, he did this, she did that. There's foul play. This is foul play. This isn't an accident. She didn't have an accident. Unless she wakes up in some hospital and has amnesia, then all of a sudden you could start talking about trying to disappear or whatever. But to me, one, there is a very good likelihood somebody that was traveling that Colorado Trail, outlaw or not, has seen something, knows something, remember, maybe they don't even know they know yet because they're still on the Colorado Trail or they're still out hiking or they haven't come back in from this camping trip or whatever. But somebody knows something, right? There was going to be a population of people around where she went missing. The opportunity for people to be on that trail and we not know who they were, how they came in contact is very probable. This is, again, highly trafficked, international known trail. And in layman's terms, a lot of people hide on these trails. And I don't mean hide like in the bushes. I mean they escape society by traveling these hiking trails with little more than a backpack, a tent, and camping gear. It is something that people do. They do it on the Pacific Northwest Trail. They do it on all of the trail systems that are, there is a longevity. You are going to run into people, and most of the people you run into are going to be generous beyond compare. That trail hiking community has a very generous spirit about them. But this is also makes it a very easy place for a very evil person to hide and prey upon people who are by nature generous to help whoever they come along the trail. So be careful. Don't be scared. Carry your fishing license, a piece of fishing gear, and you can carry a weapon without a problem. Colorado allows you to carry weapons without problems. Take something to protect. People ask why you take guns into the woods. It's not for the animals. Most of the animals in Colorado are not going to kill you if you keep your distance. You take guns and weapons into the woods because of the people you run into the woods. 90% of them going to be great people. It's the 10% you got to worry about. If it's a situation where it's around money, if it's a money issue, The cops are on it. The FBI is on it. They got the time to go in and get warrants and to get data and information surrounding the financials around the nonprofit. They got information surrounding the financials around their private entities. And if financial gain is motive, they're going to be on it. They're going to be on it. FBI is set up here. They got a headquarters in Denver. So the FBI loves Colorado. Again, it's a lot of reasons why the FBI are called in so quickly. I mean, there's FBI headquarters in every major city. Dallas, Denver, Detroit. Vegas has an FBI headquarters. So, yeah, everybody's got FBI headquarters. So, if it's the money situation. Hey, thanks for watching Dad with a Phone. If you have information surrounding this case, we'll keep up to date with it. We'll keep following it as it develops. A lot of people are covering this case. I've already told you 100 different speculations, whether it was someone very close to her, a weird situation within the family, or if it was somebody outside the family, random. There is that scenario that very well could have happened. So thanks for watching. I'll be back. Maybe. Have fun. Stay safe. Don't let the virus get you. Make sure to go over and follow me at all my social medias at the links at the bottom of the page. I'm out.